Good evening, everybody. So next time when we chant, actually, please, everybody bring this page with you and please memorize. Okay. So when you recite Om Arapajanadi, you can recite maybe 100 times or 200 times. At the end, the continuously you recite the D, more than 100 times without, stop your, breath in and out. And the end. So while you reciting mantra, you need to visualize I will write the letter D, the syllable D, the golden color or yellow color on your tongue. The head of the D need to visualize, in inward. So while you recite Mara Bhajana D, D, just imagine from the syllable D, dipping a lot of energy and blessing and dissolve into your mind. At the end, also you just imagine you solo the letter D. Okay? Okay, so today, we will touch a little bit about the logic system. So before we start the logic system, so we need to study a little bit about the dependent arising and relationship and contradictions. So within the analysis grounded in the four principles, so we already studied a little bit about the dependent, right? The principle of the dependence. So dependent, the relationship is interdependent, dependent is different. Many people think dependent and interdependent, the meaning is same. No. For example, the cost, the result, right? Cause and result. The result always depend on the cost. The cause, I said the cause. The cause never be dependent on the result. For example, the child 100% dependent on the mother. The mother is not dependent on the child. That means child depend on the mom. These are just dependent on. Interdependent, for example, pot. The pot and the component of the pot is interdependent. And also we can say small and big. This is big, this is small. When we're talking about big and small, there's not such as ultimate big, right? There's not such as ultimate small. Big dependent on small. Small also dependent on big. But they are not, depend as cause and effect. Right? When I say big, depending on small. Without small, we cannot possess, big. Without big, also we cannot say this is small. When always we talk of big and small is, interdependent. Also we say eastern and western. The eastern mountain and western mountain, southwest, also is interdependent, but not dependent as cause and effect. Dependent. So within the dependence, so he is mentioned here, somewhere dependent. Okay, page number 61. Reasoning with the laws of contradiction and relation. Contradiction and relation. For example, when you wish to achieve something you can achieve what you wanted to achieve, right? Because you got the right condition. sometimes you cannot achieve what you wanted to, what you want to achieve. You cannot achieve because your achievement, before your achievement, you got in like a contradiction condition. For example, you make a fire. You want to cook, like a vegetable. You already start the fire, then you cook the vegetable. In between somebody put very, like thick rock, thick stone. Then you cannot cook anything because between the cook in the vegetable, between the vegetable and fire, there's got one object. The object become very obstacle to cook the vegetable in between. That means, contradiction and relation, very important. Dependent emerge, there's how many types of? Non-simultaneous mode reliance, then simultaneous mode of reliance. Right? Make sure dependent has two types. Number one, what is the one? Non-simultaneous mode of reliance, not simultaneous, such as between parts and the whole that possess the parts. These are, such as effects reliance on the cause. Make sure the effects reliance on what? It cause. He says it cause. Or it cause mean particular cost. They have a relationship each other, but the relationship is what? Non-simultaneous mode of the reliance. That means first moment there's the cost. Second moment there's a effect. Right? Clear? When the effect came being to exist, then what happened? The cause already ceased. Clear? Make sure. So when we think about the relationship between the effect and the cause, it's not really easy to understand how the cause produce the result, how the result arise from the cause. Because when the cause when the cause was there, that moment the result wasn't there. When the result was there, the cause wasn't there. They never coexist at the same time. Then how? First clear, the cause, the effect never coexist. It's a non-simultaneous mode of the reliance. That means in order to understand impermanence, the subtle impermanence, impermanence, you really need to know the relationship between the cause and effect, not just intellectual level, based on your experience. That means the first there's a cause, second, what? The result. Cause has ceased. And third moment, the effect arise, the first effect also cease. That means all conditioned phenomena is page number 61. Have you got it? All conditioned phenomena, right? Conditioned phenomena mean the meaning? Impermanent. That means the phenomena which is depend on causes and condition, then we call conditioned phenomena, right? So some phenomena necessarily need a condition. Without condition, the phenomena cannot be exist. That means conditioned phenomena. Now that's why all conditioned phenomena arise from what? Arise from cause and condition. When the cause, when the condition produce the effect, when they produce first moment, produce, then cause cease, effect, arise. And third moment, also the second moment effect, also produce another moment effect. Then first, second moment, the effect also, cease. There, if you have, proper understanding of, non-simultaneous mode of the reliance, then you really will know impermanence as well as the subtle impermanence. That's why how is this thing changing, right? There's one is non-simultaneous mode of reliance, and for example, what? Such as effects relies on it cause, right? That means each time when you think about the cause and the effect, always think the cause, the effect never coexist, simultaneously. It never coexist. The second type of relationship, what? Simultaneous reliance. For example, such as between parts and the whole. For example, pot, cup is whole. Then the handle, the lid, all of them parts, right? That means how the cup can bring to exist. How the cup is exists. You can say there's a two reason. You can say there are two reasons. The cup is able to come into exist because it has a cause. It has a condition. That's why the cup able to come into exist. Second, also it is not just depending on cause and condition. It's also when the cup function as a holding water, right? Water, the cup needs many parts. Also they need the lower parts. Also a lid, side. Without side, the cup cannot function, cannot have a function as a cup. That means due to condition, the cup can bring to exist. Due to many parts, the cup function, this phenomena function as a cup. That means cup is a whole, it has many parts. And the cup also depend on the parts. It depends, simultaneously. When the cup is there, the parts are there. When the parts are there, the cup is there. Right? This, without the parts of the cup cannot be exist. Without cup, the parts of the cup cannot be exist. In generally, we can say, after you really, break down, broken the cup. Generally, we can say, it is part of my cup, parts of my cup. Actually, no. It's no. When you totally make separate, there's no more cup, right? No more cup. When the cup is no more there, the parts is no more there. But generally, we can say this is my, part of my cup. This is part of my car. But you said, you already sold your cars. If you keep some part of the car or cup, still you can say it is part of my car, part of my cup. Actually, no. No more car, then there's no more parts of the car. That means two types: simultaneous, non-simultaneous. Also, look at here. In their treatise of the classical Indian logician, these kind of relationship were referred to what? contingent relation. Doesn't matter the simultaneous or non-simultaneous or simultaneous mode of relationship, what we call contingents. Contingent relation. Contingent. What does mean in English? Contingent mean? Dependent on. Look at the two types of relation were called, or again as well as an intrinsic relationship. The non-simultaneous relationship we can call the causal relation. The cause and effect never coexist. Therefore, we can call, non-simultaneous. The second one, intrinsic relation. The first relies on the relation with the cause and effect, which are temporarily sequential. Sequential, right? Always order. The cause first, the effect second. Then there is not in other way. The latter indicate relationship of reliance, this temporarily simultaneous, intrinsic relation. Right? Intron has a different types. There are 4 example relationships between whole and parts, such as between jar and so and so. Therefore, look at, so why we need to study, about the relationship, how many types of relationship, how many types of contradiction. Based on knowing, there's 2 types of relationship or 2 types of reliances. Then you will understand the 4 noble truths. 4 noble truths, right? 4 noble truths, you can have 2 sets of cause and effect, 2 sets. For example, origin of suffering and suffering, right? Suffering and origin of the suffering. That means, for example, ignorance, karma, afflict emotions are cause. The effect is the suffering. Doesn't matter how many types of suffering. 3 types. What are they? Suffering, pervasive suffering, suffering of change. Look at, that means all sufferings arise from the cause. Cause, right? So what is the link? The suffering and the cause of suffering. There's a relationship which is non-simultaneous. And second types also what? Within the 4 noble truths, the cessation. The cessation, right? Cessation is a kind of effect. The cause is the path. Then we say, cessation and the path to cessation. So in order to achieve cessation, what you need? You need the path. If there's a path, then there's a chance to have cessation. Without the path, there cannot be cessation. For example, without the fire, there cannot be smoke. Then again, look at, based on the fire and smoke. If there's a big fire, there's a big, strong smoke. A small fire has a small smoke. That means the effect can change more or less. Sometimes you can say the effect is very big, sometimes you can say the effect is very small, not incomplete. Because what happened? Effect change because the cause. If you make a small fire, you can have a small heat in this house, right? If you make a small fire in this hall, then you can have a small amount of heat. If you make a big fire, then what happened? You can have a big amount or strong amount of heat. That means the effect always, the changing effect always depend on the cause. Clear? Therefore, after based on study about cause and effect, then you must think, In this lifetime, compared with my suffering and happiness, I have more happiness, less suffering. Why? Then we remember something, this is exists because something already exists. That means, in this life, I have a lot of happiness because there were a lot of causes and conditions for happiness. Oh, this lifetime, I have a lot of sufferings because the suffering arises from causes condition. Then how I can have a less suffering? How you can have a less suffering? You must have a less causes and condition for suffering. How you can have a more happiness? Yes, you must have a more causes and condition for the happiness. More happiness need more happiness condition. More sufferings also depend on more causes condition of suffering. Then second, yes, suffering, we have many types of suffering. Totally we can include into three, suffering, and changing of suffering and pervasive suffering. The last two sufferings depend on the pervasive suffering. Pervasive suffering means this, physical body. We human have a bigger body, some insect a small body, very small as a very small amount of body. But look at, due to this body, we have a lot of sickness. We have a aging. Then we have a death. Then we need all kinds of things. Therefore, we cannot content, right? We need a lot of food. We need a lot of drink. We need a lot of medicine. We need all kinds of exercise. That's why, based on the body, we have all kinds of suffering. Then, the second one, opposite of the suffering, which is cessation or peace. Again, if you need a more peace, you need to collect, you need to have more causes and conditions for happiness and peace. Because we always have a strong wishing, to have a happiness, peace, harmonious. In our life is opposite. We wish to have a happiness, wish to be happy. We cannot be, because we don't have enough causes and conditions for happiness. Right? There are two types, causal relation and intrinsic relation. The second, what is the example of the intrinsic relation? Different types. There's for example, relationship between whole and parts. For example, Josh and the components, as well as intrinsic and the class that belongs to, such as a separate tree, right? Separate trees. Again, intrinsic. For example, impermanence, condition phenomena and impermanent phenomena. For example, this book is conditioned phenomena. This book is conditioned phenomena. As well as this book is impermanent. That means one object, just one single object can have many different names. Okay? One single object can have many names. For example, book. We name book based on functioning, content, lot of words, lot of meaning. Right? Then, book. So we have a different, please come here, we have a lot of seats. We have a different names due to different reason. What is this? This is a book. Because it's a reason to name as a book. Then this is, we can say, white. The book has a name, white, because its color is white. This book is conditioned, because it depends on condition. This book is impermanence because it's changing momentarily. So due to different reason, we have a different name. But the one object is just one. You can say book, you can call white book, you can call thick book, you can call impermanence, you can call condition, you can call object of knowledge. Actually, just one phenomena can have many names due to different reason. Now we think about impermanent of the book, condition book, just within one book. Based on one book, you cannot find separate two separate things. Oh, this is impermanent book, this is condition book. You cannot have one book is both. Then why? What's the link this book with the impermanence? What's the relationship between this book and condition? The relationship is what called intrinsic relation. That means impermanent is the intrinsic, the nature of this book. It's nature. It's impermanence. Be impermanent is intrinsically like that. Naturally, this book is permanence. Okay, there's are two types of, and tree and cypress tree. So again, tree is general, and cypress tree is particular. Then why we need to know the general and particular? Why so important? That means sometimes people has a doubt. Oh, there must be something. They may just think, oh, you are looking from far away to the mountain, like one other side of mountain. Then you have a doubt. Oh, there must be separate trees. There must be like a sandalwoods. Then you need to use the logic. There cannot be like sandalwoods, separate trees, because there isn't any tree. No tree, then no sandalwood, no separate trees. Because tree is general. No human being, no male, no female. There's a female, there must be human. There's a male, there must be human. There's a sandalwood, there must be wood. If there's a separate tree, there must be a tree. That means there's a particular, there must be general. If there's a general phenomena, not necessarily particular be there. For example, if there's a human being, not necessarily be there's a female or male. Not necessary. Relation. Then next, the third paragraph. Right? There are certain kinds of phenomena that possess these types of internal contingent logical relation in this, I think, internal mutual exclusion. For example, through the logical reason, because it is produced, one is able to establish, some is impermanent. Now we start, the logic system, contradictory. So relation and contradiction, right? Contradiction. So generally, permanent contradict with the impermanent. Impermanent contradict with the permanent. In between, there's not one phenomena, can be both. For example, this book is impermanent because it depends on causes and condition. This book is not permanent because if it is permanent, then this book have to be exist forever. This book cannot be exist forever. Therefore, this book is impermanent, not permanent. Why this book cannot be both permanent, impermanent? Because permanent and impermanent is contradictory phenomena. One phenomena cannot be both. For example, someone is your best friend, he or she cannot be your enemy. If someone is your pure enemy, he or she cannot be your friend because it's a contradict. So if you study, hot contradict with the cold. Cold contradict with the hot. When you study this, then second, you will learn permanent contradict with the impermanent. Impermanent contradict permanent. It's a external, knowledge about external phenomena. Slowly, then you have to learn, yes, happiness contradict with the unhappiness. Unhappiness contradict with the happiness. Suffering contradict with the pleasure. Pleasure contradict with the suffering. Contradict. When you learn is total contradict. That means, for example, if you need more friends, what you need to do? You need to reduce more enemy. Clear? If you reduce more enemy, if you eliminate more enemy, eliminate not kill, make a lesser. If you make less enemy, for example, first year you have 10 enemies. From New Year you have only 9. Next year, 8. Then you can see the number of enemy is reducing. Then opposite, number of friends increase, right? Increase. Same thing. Now, so we say, oh, the person is my enemy. Yes, we can say enemy. Actually, nobody can be your pure enemy. Based on the religion reason, or based on the like modern kind of the relationship. For example, your friend, somebody is your very pure friend, and maybe indirectly he or she harm you. Somebody is your very pure enemy, maybe he always work for the electricity company, right? So we got electricity because your enemy working for you, right? Because he or she is working the company, producing collect all the conditions, we have electricity. That means we thought he or she is my enemy, never have me useless, but he or she become very useful, right? That means if you think this way, then you should think none of human being can be my enemy, right? Who are around you. We cannot see the enemy really directly benefit you, but indirectly benefit for you. Many different ways. That's why you should totally forget, someone is my enemy. Also, you should not think someone is my best friend. Best friend, he or she is my always best friend. He's a best person in my world, my life. Maybe indirectly he or she can harm you. Maybe he or she work with a pharmacy, like a medicine, like company. They produce different, like medicine, different food. When you take the food, you got sickness. The sickness come from the food. The food produced from the company for your best friend involved. That means none of become your very pure enemy, very pure, best friend. So this is we call external, knowledge about external, existent phenomena. Now, second, now based on this knowledge, then again, anger. Slowly you have to go within yourself. Okay, you should not just study about the external phenomena. You should not just think about external. Slowly you go enter. You must enter within your mind. Yes, today I'm not happy because I'm very angry. This morning I was very angry. Therefore, the angry destroyed what? Peace and happiness. We can say peace and happiness, right? We can say peace and happiness. Actually, how the anger destroyed peace and happiness? How? Do you know really when you get angry in the morning, you got angry, right? Then you say, oh, This morning I wasn't happy. I got so strong anger. We believe anger destroyed happiness. Anger destroyed your peace. Peace of mind. How anger destroy your happiness? How? For example, before you get angry, you are having good food, whatever. You are completely okay because your 4 elements is very balanced in your body. Very balanced, right? When anger arises, all the wind energy arises so strongly, then whole your body is shake. That's why destroy your peace of mind, happiness. The anger is a cause to produce unhappiness and suffering. Then how we can reduce the anger? Again, the contradictory. Anger contradict with the compassion. Compassion, love. Love, compassion, and kindness. Okay, please, we should not just believe. We just believe. You really need to, accept. Yes, anger destroyed my happiness. Anger destroyed happiness within your families, friends, neighbors. You really have to believe, not just saying, not just say. You must believe. Then, if you really believe anger is very bad because it destroyed happiness, peace, then how I can control anger? How? Chanting, recitation is good, but it's not. Chanting never contradict with the anger. Within the strong anger, you can chant, right? Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme. I wish he or she die. Om Mani Padme, Om. Right? Om Mani Devasi, Om Rami, oh, she dies. Chanting never not contradict with the anger. Within the strong anger, you can chant. You can do prostration. Maybe you can do more prostration. You cannot feel tired, right? Even though you hit your foot at the stone, you never feel. That's me, right? Anger not really contradict with the chanting, recitation, prostration, making of a never. I'm not saying it's good. Even though you do some chanting with anger, also good. One way you are accumulating negative, on the other hand you are accumulating positive karma. But it's no contradict. So anger contradict with the compassion, tolerance, love, kindness. That means you want to have always happiness, should not get angry, should not be angry. How? Always generate compassion, kindness, love. If you always have a compassion, then anger cannot arise. Because it's contradict. If you make a big fire, the coal never exists here. Right? If you have a so strong coal, if you make a fire, you need to make a big fire. The fire contradict with the coldness. The coldness contradict with the hotness. Therefore, compassion contradict with the anger contradict with the compassion. Don't want anger, practice compassion. Not just in the verbal level, you really have to practice. When you practice compassion, love, then anger reduce. When anger reduce, no more enemy. No more enemy around you. Everybody became your friend. But here, it's a modern time. This day. In the past, if you are a very good person, people never try to cheat. Nowadays, if you are a very good person, very kind person, then slowly people try to cheat you. Huh? That means compassion with the wisdom. Love with the wisdom. You must have a compassion towards everybody. You have a compassion towards Mr. A. Mr. A always, cheat you, bullet you. Then, yes, you should not lose the compassion, but you should not listen. You should not do whatever the person say. right? Therefore, contradiction, knowing the contradiction, first you need to have proper knowledge about how contradict in the external level. Second, how contradict within the emotional levels. Okay, contradiction. Then contradiction, contradict in, there's a many way, direct, indirect. Therefore, exclusion, excluding, so and so you study as your homework. Next, we go, the complicated subject, page number 65. Is reasoning in the collective topic. Reasoning, right? So, actually, I told many times, according to Buddhist tradition, according to Buddhist tradition, whatever you accept, believe, all the accept and believing, accepting, right? Can we use accepting, exception, accept, exception? The noun. Acceptance is the noun, right? Accept is the verb. That means acceptance, believing, everything you need, logics and reasoning. Whatever you believe based on logics and reasoning, not illogical things. You should not believe in illogical things. Whatever you accept based on reasoning, logic. Therefore, you need to know all the reasons and logics. For example, here, now how I can know, the perfect logic and reasoning. Then at the beginning, you can see there, now when one enters the part of reasoning of the collective topic, so you don't need to know about the, the collective topic. It's Tibetan word because duita, du mean collect, topic is the meaning. There are three main components. What are the three main components? Okay, the proof, predicate, object. Simple, you can say proof, predicate, object. Right? Then it's bit clearly what I mean subject of the dispute. Proof means mainly the logical reason. Then predicate. Okay, very important. So we can do okay. I think we can draw this way is better. It's too big. Because I'm not good in arts. I cannot draw. One, then here, then this go here. Three, right? This is the subject, right? Object or subject? Subject. Just put S. Subject of dispute. We call in direct say chosen, means subject of dispute. For example, now Malaysia, Singapore dispute about the water. Water will be very important. Subject about dispute about between two countries. Subject. Then this were predicate, right? P. Yeah, predicate. This one, reason or proof. So this. Sorry? This one? Hello. Okay. I don't think it make difference, right? Okay. Better put this one closer. Okay. That means subject, predicate, and reason or proof is so important. For example, we have to study based on the external phenomena because we know the external phenomena. Because why sound? We use sound. Why not pot? Why not house? Sound. Is also linked with our practice. Okay. For example, within the Four Noble Truths, first truth has how many characteristics? How many? 4. Number 1, impermanence. That's why every our practice start with the impermanence. When you remember impermanence, you remember death. Right? When you remember death, then you feel scared. You feel so scary. Feel scared. Scary. Why? Tell me the truth. Why? Any of you really feel scared about death? Scared? Huh? You? Okay. Who who really doesn't scared? Worry about what? Actually, same thing. It's same thing, worry or death. Scary or worry, I think same thing. This moment, when you say, I'm scary, I'm not scared, but I'm worry. Worry about what? This life? Are you ready to let go all your families, your house, your money, your card, bank balance? Huh? Ready? Not ready yet, right? Not ready yet. That means it's so important. Four Noble Truths start with the first four for suffering. Then, why experience suffering first? Why not the cause or origin of suffering? Buddha first explained suffering. Second, explain origin of suffering. Third, cessation. Fourth, path. Buddha was so, of course we can say, Buddha is very kind, also very wise. Just think about he was just ordinary beings. He was very intelligent. For example, first he introduced sufferings. Introduce suffering, not cause of suffering. Introduce suffering. Let us acknowledge. Let us realize. I have a lot of sufferings. My body nature is suffering. Once you realize suffering, what Buddha said, recognize the suffering. You must know the suffering. Dungal she barcha. You must know, must realize the suffering. Second, he said. What he said second time? Recognize the suffering. Eliminate the origin of suffering. Right? Eliminate the origin of suffering. Recognize the suffering. Eliminate the origin of suffering. Then cessation. Achieve the cessation. Path. Practice the path. Very practical, right? If you realize suffering, the suffering is not arise without causes condition. It has a causes condition. You must eliminate the causes condition. Then you don't have any more suffering. If you wish to achieve cessation, then you must practice the path. He never say, if you wish to achieve cessation, Buddha never say chanting. You chant, recite. You say practice. Among the first truth, there's a 4 characteristics. First one, impermanence. Impermanent, is a very important practice. When you practice impermanent, you start. When you remember impermanence, you start your practice. When you forget impermanence and death, you become lazy for your practice. Impermanence. Then how we can introduce impermanence? How we can realize impermanence? How? Because when you look at your body, yesterday and today, it's very same. When you look out in your house, it's same. Sound is the best, example for impermanence. When you hear the sound, for example, people play like balls, like bells or whatever, drum. When you just use a stick to the drum, what you can find? Sound, boom. It never stay forever. Boom, slowly finish. Listen music, sound. It's just moving, right? When you listen to music, it's a lot of melody, vibration, and movement. Everything is moving and changing. That's why sound always introduced for impermanence. Sound. Then again, question: why I have to study the sound, smell, taste, structure? Why? Why I have to study? What is important? Why? I don't care sound is permanent, impermanent. I want to practice Dharma, right? You can say, I don't care the sound, smell, taste. I don't care. I want to practice Lamrim. Right? If you say this way, I can say, if you are very intelligent, you no need to learn this thing. You just go directly Lamrim. You just go directly emptiness. Right? Therefore, Buddha was very wise, also what you call wise, and also someone very good into explain, right? Very slowly bring into with a deep understanding. Sound, the sound is now we call dispute of subject. Dispute. That means now the sound is permanent or impermanent. Sound is impermanent, right? Sound can be, somebody will say permanent, somebody will say impermanent, whatever. Now, we're doing analysis, we're doing study. The sound is permanent or impermanent. Let's say sound is impermanent. The combination of, sound of combination both together, combination of dispute of subject and the predicate. The combination, for example, sound is the subject of dispute. Impermanent, right? Impermanent is the predicate. Together become sound impermanent. Right? Sound impermanent. Sound is become impermanent. Together sound impermanent. Together sound is impermanent. That means this is your statement or your thesis or your promise. We can say promise. We can say yes, sound is impermanent. Together, right? Sound is the dispute of object. This is a predicate. Together become your thesis, become your promise, become your view. Because view, impermanent. Then it is not just enough to say sound is impermanent, right? You need a reason. You need a logic. For example, in order to, blame, in order to criticize someone as a thief, you say, "Oh, you are a thief. You thief." You need a reason. You need a proof. Without proof, you cannot say. You will get a lot of problems. Proof. Proof can be authentic or inauthentic. Authentic, right? Very, very solid. Solid. Opposite is insolid. Huh? Invalid. Yeah, valid and invalid. Good. Valid and invalid. That means sound is impermanent. That means this is your view. You think sound is impermanent. Then reason can be valid or invalid. If you say sound is impermanent, in Tibetan has is a language. It also is language. Somehow we have very very unique system. We say da chojen. Da esa. The sound is a dispute of objects. Da chojen. Midaba imba thal. Mean sound is impermanent. Midaba imba tha. Then reason. It is conditioned phenomena. It is, conditioned phenomena. Condition must be C, right? Condition C, right? Condition. Clear? Subject of object of dispute, predicate, reason. So always, talking about this is this or not. Subject, the object is predicate or not. That means sound is permanent or impermanent. Then the other one person said, assert, sound is impermanent because sound is conditioned phenomena. Now you can say link, sound is impermanent because conditioned phenomena. If somebody says sound is permanent, okay? Somebody also say, yeah, sound is impermanent. It's because it is existent phenomena. Right? Existent phenomena. Can look at sound is impermanent because it is conditioned phenomena. Right? Then they put is reason like this. Sound is impermanent because this talking like this. Because this is conditioned phenomena. Sound is impermanent because it is conditioned phenomena. Then if it is impermanent, that means, subject of dispute, predicate, reason. Someone say, yes, also he or she said, there some person, said, sound is impermanent. The reason, because it is existent phenomena. Also, this person also use reason. This person also use reason. Clear? Sound is impermanent because it is conditioned phenomena. Another person says sound is impermanent because the sound is existent phenomena. Both has a reason, right? Both has a reason. This reason became invalid. Invalid. This reason became valid or solid reason. Right? So why it is invalid? Then the person says sound is impermanent because it is existent phenomena. The person said, if it is existent phenomena, necessarily be impermanent. Right? For example, you say, Mr. Lee is thief because he has a hand. He has a hand. Or you can say, he is thief because I saw his hand is moving towards my back. Right? Then the reason is, if whoever hands move towards your back is necessarily a thief, cannot. Then you can say you yourself thief. You are moving always your hand in your back. Right? That means it become invalid. For example, space, emptiness. Emptiness is existent phenomena, but emptiness is not impermanent. It is permanent. Sorry, my hand. Actually, my handwriting was good. Since have the phone and the computer left, my whole handwriting has gone. Do you remember we have 2 monks from Manali monastery here? So in monastery we have one monk. His name is Lobsang Yonten. He's always make a joke. If you don't know him, you really think he's a bit crazy. Then he said, my English is very good, don't worry. So he went with the American or foreigner with the Ladakh. And then he said to his friend, no, my English is very good. Then when they reached to Ladakh, Leh is very high altitude, weather is very cold. When they reached to Leh, and the monk and the American have a discussion. The monk didn't know exactly what he's saying. Then his friend asked, what happened to your English? Because the weather is so cold, my English is frozen. He said, Weather is so cold, my English already frozen. I cannot use anymore. He's always saying like that, huh?
So cute.
Yeah. It can be valid reason, right? Can be. Weather is so cold, tongue become frozen. He cannot speak English. He cannot speak anymore. Anyway, it's a joke. Okay. Okay, this is a P, right? Permanent. Because actually my handwriting is okay, but due to the laptop computer, it look like just excuse. Okay, sound is permanent, impermanent. Sound is impermanent because it is conditioned phenomena. It's a valid. All conditioned phenomena be impermanent. Right? All conditioned phenomena necessarily be impermanent. Why? Why? Now you need to think about causes and condition. Causes and condition. I told you, right? All conditioned phenomena depend on cause and condition. The cause and effect never is non-simultaneous mode of reliance. That means why all conditioned phenomena are impermanent? Because they have only one moment duration to exist. Just one moment. They don't have 2 minutes continuously exist. Just one short moment to exist. They cannot exist continuously without changing 2 minutes. Cannot. Right? Therefore, all conditioned phenomena are impermanent because it is sound is impermanent, it's a conditioned phenomena. Conditioned phenomena depend on cause. The cause and effect non-simultaneous reliance. And all conditioned phenomena has a only very, very short moment to exist. They can exist only one moment, not continue the second moment without changing. That means now you can see sound is impermanent. Generally, when you listen the sound or music, you can see, you can feel it is changing momentarily. When you use the logic, because it is conditioned phenomena depend on causes condition. When it's dependent on causes condition, it exists only one moment. That's why it's changing momentarily. Right? It's become valid. If you say it is existent phenomena, it cannot be valid. It became invalid because emptiness, right? Emptiness is existent phenomena, but not impermanent. Impermanent. And also I told many times, if you study very closely, very precisely, then it's not easy to say emptiness, space is permanent. Not easy to say. You need to know a lot of things to accept emptiness as a permanent. Right? That means now impermanent and permanent. Now we have another two phenomena. Okay? Permanent, impermanent. Now sound is B, sound is impermanent. Therefore, sound is not permanent. If sound is permanent, sound never be impermanent because permanent and impermanent is contradictory phenomena. One phenomena cannot be both. Right? Therefore, look at now you can see very clearly sound is impermanent because it's a conditioned phenomena. All conditioned phenomena necessarily to be impermanent because it depends on its causes and condition. The causes and condition produce all phenomena has just one moment. They cannot produce continuously, without changing two moments. Then you can ask question. Oh yes, I can see the sound is conditioned phenomena is impermanent. But also, why not sound is permanent? Why not sound is permanent? Then you can see cannot be. In Singapore, you can use the Singapore English. What? Cannot be la. Cannot be la. Cannot be because permanent contradict with the impermanent, impermanent contradict with the permanent. Then how is contradict? how the concept, it is not, the contradiction between permanent and impermanent. It is not invent by Buddha. It is not really invent, or it's not like, Buddha made it. It's not really Buddha create. It's natural there. Buddha realized. Yes, it depends on causes condition. Then how long they can produce to exist? They can produce only one moment. They cannot exist more than 2 minutes, more than 1 minute. Why? Because if they exist without changing, second moment, third moment, then the phenomena becomes slowly permanent. For example, the sound, you can see first moment, for example, now, we just listen, we cannot hear any music. Suddenly, we heard the music, bang, 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 bang. Then we notice the music come from maybe, drum, or maybe like a guitar, maybe flute. Yes, it's arising. It's coming from where? Causal condition. We can realize. Then second, third moment, the sound is permanent, impermanent. It's impermanent. If the first moment impermanent, second moment cannot be permanent. That's why one permanent, impermanent cannot change each other. Permanent, always permanent. Impermanent, always impermanent. Then, if second, third moment, the sound is permanent, then third moment, fourth moment, fifth moment must be permanent. Then sound become permanent. So far, we don't have any permanent sound. And also, contradict permanent, impermanent also is naturally there. Also, the cause produce effect is also, in the nature like that. Also in nature like that, the cause produce only the effect for just one moment. Cannot produce, continuously second moment. Right? Okay. Subject of, object of dispute, predicate, reason. That is combined with what you call statement or thesis, or your commitment or your view. In order to have a view, you need a reason. Reason can be valid, invalid. If you say sound is impermanent because conditioned phenomena is valid. If you say existent phenomena is become invalid. Existent phenomena can be permanent, can be impermanent. Right? Remember, all phenomena you can divide into two categories. We can have two categories: permanent, impermanent. Then permanent, impermanent contradict. Right? Then existent phenomena can be permanent, can be impermanent. You cannot say it can use as a reason. For example, in the Greek philosophy, they use logic, but their logic is very invalid for Buddhist. For example, they say, Mr. or Mrs. someone is intelligent because he or she is, he or she is a person. Then, Mr. is intelligent because he or she, Mr. he is person. He is a human being. That means human being used as a logic in order to prove intelligent. The human can be intelligent, can be unintelligent, can be mute. That's why when you compare, Buddhist and Greek philosophy, also you can say huge difference. We use always, valid and solid. For example, impermanent because conditioned phenomena. Impermanent because existent, invalid. You can use in philosophy, what do you say? Not established. Right? Okay. Then, when say yes or not, you're always talking about this thing. Sound is permanent? No. Sound is impermanent? Yes. When you say answer has a yes, no, not established, right? Usually, traditionally, we have only 3 answers. Very simple. For example, In Tibetan, you can say the. The mean yes. The mean yes, I accept. Yes. The mean yes, I also accept. The. Second, ta madu. Ta madu mean not establish. Ta madu. Third, not provision. Makyap. The. The or maybe like the tha ta ke tha ma trup thak madup. Then ma ma ke also h ke h a p the ta madup makyap. The mean yes. DOD dot thak madup TAKMATRUP. Thak madup mean not establish. Makyap MAKHAP. Makyap mean no provision. Not provision. Provision, right? You can put in English. Yeah, everything is there. Provision, right? Agree. Why? Perversion. And also, he mentioned this book. Why? It's not traditional way. You have to say yes, not establish, and not provision. The ta matu makyap. Only three answers traditionally. Because if you know how to debate, if the person know how to debate with me, I can have only three answers. You can say yes, I agree. You can say no establish, no provision. Traditionally, three answer. If you answer through the only three, using three answer, is very clear. When the other people listen, is very clear what I'm really answering. If I not answer, the tamar, if I talk too much, listener, they don't know what we are really debating. Okay, it's really good. Is the tamadu makyap. If you are very intelligent, when you debate, you just use three answer. Agree, not establish, not provision. Then the debater who debate you, he debate finish very fast. You say yes, no, no provision, very fast. Right? When you see in the court, yes, court, what do you say? Objection, my lord. Right? Objection. Then talk too much, right? So we don't have to say yes. If the debater asks you why not, then you can explain. Okay? I mean the tamadu makyap. Then there's a why. This is not really traditional, but now the Tibet style is a bit changed. Chichir. Why? Chichir. Chi, CHICHAR. No, CHICHER. Chichir. Yeah. Chi, CHER. Chichir means why? Okay. Is clear? Okay. So we have another few minutes. So I don't want to do continuously because you will have a lot of confusion. I give you homework. I just read, not the writing homework, the reading homework. Page number 68. Yeah, just only 2 pages. 66, 7, 8, 69. Mainly 2 pages. Please, read sentence by sentence. Try to understand. When you understand, you use yourself. You use the logic yourself. You debate yourself. You cannot have a debater, right? You debate yourself. Then you become very easily. First, you become master in logics. Okay, this I want to say. Also, I always said to, my study partners, because all of you my study partners, all our studies, study about Lamrim, study about, Buddhist science and psychology, also all about your chanting, recitation, all your, the religious activities, all general activities. Sometimes you go for, to temple, serve as a volunteer, right? Someday you go to hospital to, serve something for someone. Please make sure all your activities, reciting, chanting, recitation, study, meditation, make sure every practice became for two practices. One, make sure all practices become antidotes of one of the negative thoughts. Clear? Whatever you study, practice, chanting, recitation, try to be antidotes of one of the negative thoughts. Second, all your practice, try to accumulate the perfect and positive the merit, or try to be antidotes to eliminate negative karmas. Within the two, yes, you always focus to be antidotes. Even though you read one page from Lamrim, one page from the science and philosophy, or even the one page when you read, then you think, then you apply. Apply for, to be antidotes. Also, after you read, think, apply for accumulating, purification and accumulating. Yeah, that's why. Otherwise, I told you many times, because I have a bit, I'm a bit worried about your study. Why I'm worrying? Because you coming many parts of, different parts of Singapore. Some of you came by MRT, by bus, by car, your own car. Anywhere you spend your time, your energy, your money, then you came here. You spend here 1 hour, listening all the nonsense thing. All the nonsense. When you go back home, you're going with your brain is very empty. All the study, your knowledge not become antidotes of the negative thoughts, or not purification, not accumulation. That means it's not really, useful. You can say no use. So whatever you learn today, last month, last year, whatever you learn, if it became antidotes of one of the negative thoughts, that means it's really useful. And also, the more you learn Dharma, the more you practice Dharma, you have to be very calm. You have to be a very peaceful person. You have to be more honest, more transparent. You must have a less enemy. The more you study, the more you have an enemy, then what you call the medicine thrown as a poison. When you sick, what you need to eat? Medicine. If the medicine become poison, then what you can do? You cannot do anything. No more an option. Okay, make sure all your practice become pure medicine to cure all the problems. And TBC center is very interesting. It exists very, very interesting. On your right side, what you can see? On your right side, the Prince Salon. On your left side, the restaurant. Tibetan Buddhist center in between, in middle. When you think about it, it's very interesting. No middle way. This shop for what? Mainly for beauty, external beauty. They cannot make inner beauty. Right? This shop for what? food. We need both. We need the salon to make more clean, more beauty. We need. This side we have a restaurant. Also we need food to sustain, have a healthy food, body. Then this center for what? Mind. This for body. This for external beauty. This for healthy. This for the mind, healthy for healthy mind, healthy body. So beauty body, healthy body, healthy mind. Please remember 3 restaurants. Okay, so we can do. Well, I thought since they opened restaurant, I thought, TBC become quite interesting place. After they moved the salon here, before there's what we have shop sell the electrics light things. Since the salon moved, I thought, it's become very interesting. Salon, then food, restaurant, then Dharma center. We need 3, right? We need 3. If you are just have a, your mind is very mentally very healthy, physically very weak, no good. Yeah, physically you are very strong, very healthy. Mentally you are very healthy. When you look very ugly, very unhygienic, no good. We need 3s. That's why we have 3 buildings. Morning you can come here, do salon. They have a lunch and dinner, and come to center. Then you can then you have a middle way. If you go only this, no good. If you only go that, no good. If you only come here, no good. Right? You must go into 3 shops. Then you can have 3 benefits. Okay.